And Young at Art is coming April 18th to May 19th at various locations. All the details. Right now we have Brenda Dunn joining us. She's the owner of Arts and Jest. And you were a Young at Arts juror back in 2018.
I was.
How
way
are
back
you?
when. I'm well, since that long and ever ago.
Back in the day, correct?
Back in the day, yeah.
So tell us about Art and Jest for starters.
Sure. Art and Jest is my company, which is basically me. And I usually tell people I make things, but I also make things happen. So I do kids' books, coloring books. I also do workshops, interactive art activities, little activations around the city.
Gonna hold up your kids'
You want to
book
hold
here.
up some kids' but yeah, that's one of them.
Ickle and Pickles.
Ickle and Pickle.
That is the name of
yeah.
one of your books. That's
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Okay, so now obviously you're part of Young at Art. So what is Young at Art about?
One of the things that I got to do was act as a juror last year for this amazing program that invites young artists from the ages of 12 to 20 from all over the city to submit artwork and participate in a formal juried art show. And then the artwork is displayed at 3 different galleries. They also give out some amazing prizes, and all of these kids and youth get the experience of going through what ends up being kind of an important part of your life if you become a professional artist. So.
And it's been around for quite some time, since 1996.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time, and they're always improving and growing. I think this year there was something like 400 plus submissions, which is incredible, an enormous range of talent from all over the city. And they actually just this year increased the age to 20, so there's 2 sections that the jurors look at, from 12 to 15 and then from 16 to 20, and that's something that we're really coached as jurors to take into account when we're looking at selection. So we try to make the artwork in the galleries represent the proportions of submissions from different age groups, so that it's really showing what's actually out there in the city.
So as a juror, you aren't one this year, but what do you have to do as a juror? Like, I mean, what are you looking for in this artwork?
Usually you're looking for something that happens inherently, and then you're just justifying it with your rubric. So we all have that immediate reaction when we look at something.
That was a lot of big words there. In one shot,
and we're excited about something, and then you kind of take whatever rubric you have and you go, why was I so excited? Why was I so happy? So especially with young people, one of the things that they get out of participating is some really well thought out, careful criticism from people who are really invested in providing people motivation to keep making work. So as a juror, especially when you're talking to young people, you want to give them truthful, honest criticism, and you also want them to take that away and think, wow, I am so motivated to get better and to keep working. So
and so you're mentioning, I mean, the importance of being a young person and having pros as yourself, who've been doing this for quite some time, to critique, to talk about it. Why is that so important for young people to get that at such an early age?
I think it's one of the things that you get used to taking in a healthy way and using it as a thing that improves your work, and especially when you're sort of swimming in the ocean of social media, we get a lot of input, and some of it's really helpful and some of it's just kind of white noise, and it can be a really useful skill, especially as an artist, knowing how to separate the two, and participating in a professional juried show is a great way to go about doing that.
Okay, here's some, look at this piece of art right here.
Isn't that awesome? Kirby.
That's, oh, yes.
That was one of the submissions last year. I think it's called The Feast, maybe, or Soon the Feast.
I would not want that young fella coming my way.
He can hang out with me. You can come, whoever did that, absolutely.
Tell me about the different categories. There's a few of them.
Painting, drawing, there's mixed media. They also do photography, and sometimes there's sort of under the umbrella of mixed media, there might be performance pieces, digital media, sculptures. Sorry, I'm distracted now by Benedict Cumberbatch's
he is distracting. But, okay, so you're telling me these pieces of art are from people under the age of 20?
Yeah, right?
That is incredible. That's incredible. Now, there's different locations as well across the city where you can check this out?
Young at Art really tries to appeal to as much of the city of Ottawa as they can. So they have an east, west, and central location, and then there's a final vernissage at the Centrepoint Theatre. So I think it's Trinity, Atrium, Canada, Civic Gallery will all host shows, so that no matter where you're submitting from, there's somewhere that you can go for a vernissage. And if you go to the ottawa.ca/Young at Art website, they always post all of the different vernissages, and their Instagram account, which is at young@art, OTT, also starts posting sneak peeks of some of the submissions, some of the winners, some of the shows, so you can follow them there to find out where the closest vernissage is going to be.
Okay, and it all comes down to one big awards gala that happens on May 9th?
Yeah, and that's the one that'll take place at Centrepoint Theatre. There's a bunch of different prizes. They also often have jurors speaking, members of the community. It's a great chance for young artists to experience that kind of like the vernissage, the award ceremony, and really.
I was at it last year, and you could see all the young people, the pride,
right,
when their names were called and they came to get their awards. So it's too late then to submit.
For this year.
For this year.
But it's annual.
It's annual, and because there's always a lot of young people, so how do people submit if they're sort of thinking about it for next year?
I would say start thinking now, and especially if you have a project that's maybe outside of something that you've been given from a school assignment, only because a lot of people submit school assignments, which means that there's similar pieces coming from a same assignment or inspiration. If you have some work that you really want to make that falls outside of that, I'd say get started.
Awesome. Ottawa.ca/young@art. Thank you, Brenda Dunn.
It was an absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad it was a pleasure for you. More Daytime coming up.